First round rules real quick for the 8 o'clock spot. A great take nets you 200 points, a good take 100. An okay take gives you 50 points, and a bad take, you come up empty with 0 points. Let's move on to what was maybe the shock of the NFL outside of the Dolphins scoring 70 points. How about my man Joshua Dobbs out of the University of Tennessee, Space Dobbs, out here leading the Arizona Cardinals to victory over the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott struggled in the red zone. The Cowboys often struggled in the red zone. Dak threw an interception. They got down inside the 10, I believe, 4 times, only came up with 1 touchdown. The defense struggled, giving up over 200 yards rushing. So I will start with you, Barry. We got 2 Cowboy fans, Barry and Mike. Starting with you, Barry. Is it panic mode in Dallas only 3 weeks in?
No, it's not panic mode time in Dallas yet, but what they need to be concerned about is the guy that's behind center. I've said it on my show, and I've said it, and I will continue to say it. The Dallas Cowboys will be as successful as the guy throwing the football this year. It has nothing to do with the defense. It has nothing to do with the running attack. It has nothing to do with Mike McCarthy. It's about the guy that's throwing the ball. And what we seen on Sunday is a guy that did not pick up his defense. We have to remember Trayvon Diggs hurt tore his ACL on Thursday. So they were already mid-season, midweek in regards to their preparation. They had this horrible freak accident happen to them, and now the defense you can tell that they just didn't have it. So in that type of situation, you expect your quote-unquote leader to be able to look at that defense, look them down, and say, listen, I got you guys this week. I'm going to pick you guys up. I'm going to make sure that the offense is here. We're going to have you guys back today. Just keep it close. I know you guys probably are not going to be sharp like that, but I got you. And what we ended up seeing is 1 for 5 in the red zone and a terrible pick in the red zone in regards to triple coverage. That's what the defense, that's what the Dallas Cowboys should be panicking about, is the quarterback. Not the actual total team, but the actual quarterback and what the actual mindset of the quarterback is, because that was a terrible performance against a team that plays hard, and we did not see any heart out of the quarterback. That's what they should be worried about.
As a Dak Prescott fan since college, or since he was his college days, I've seen plenty of bad Dak Prescott performances. That I would not qualify as one of them. He was not good, but I would not consider him just terrible. There was a game last year against Washington in which he was awful. But I would not put this in that discussion. However, though, your point is well taken. It was a bad goal line pick, no question about it. To Mike Guido now, fellow Dak skeptic with Barry Grant Jr. Your thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys? Is this panic mode 3 weeks in, and does it have to do with the quarterback more than it does anything else?
So I know that I'm running myself at a risk here because I know that you are such a Dak stan that I'm afraid that if I
I'm
don't say
objective.
anything pro Dak, if I don't say anything pro Dak, I'm going to be sacrificing points here in the first round. But yes, truth be told, I don't know that panic is the word that I would use, but concern, absolutely. This is a really big problem that the Cowboys have had for several years. So if you look at what Dak has done in his career, and this is the problem that he's had throughout his entire career so far, is that we know that Dak Prescott is not a bad quarterback, but I think he's average to the point where, when you put him, in the category of the elites, right, of Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, these big time guys, Rodgers, whoever else, right? Those are guys, and I've said it for years, that can make stuff work even though things aren't perfect. That's really the issue that I've had with Dak. You know, the defense gave up 220 plus yards on the ground. It's not a great look for the defense, right? They lost Trayvon Diggs on Thursday. They had practiced all week with Trayvon Diggs in the lineup. Then they get on the plane and he's not playing, right? That's a big deal. The offensive line had several injuries. That's part of it. And the 2 starters that were playing, one of them was Terrence Steele, one of them was Tyler Smith, which was his first game back. So there is something to be said about the surroundings of where Dak was. But the reality is that you need to find ways to win when things don't go your way. This is a long NFL season. Guys get hurt, guys get banged up, the starters are out of the lineup, whatever. You need to still find ways to win. And everything around Dak has changed throughout his entire career and improved to that matter. We all thought going into the season this was going to be a high-powered offense. Given the change with Kellen Moore, it was going to be more suited towards him. So, listen, this is concerning to me. If he can't be productive against a team like Arizona, where I think we can all agree they played well, but they're not going to make the playoffs. This is a bottom tier NFL team right now. This is concerning for me.
In Dallas's defense, though, and not even just Dak, but in Dallas's defense, and I talked about this on Carving It Up Live yesterday, that even Super Bowl champions, we've seen them lose. I mean, Kansas City last year against the Indianapolis Colts, like, man, they lost, we look back, they won the Super Bowl. Wait, they lost to the old Matt Ryan four-wing Colts, just a few games of the season. So I don't think it's necessarily panic mode for Dallas, but there are legit concerns. And listen, your assessment is fair in that obviously the surrounding pieces around Dak, or the surrounding circumstances around Dak weren't perfect, and neither was he. To John Rivera, your thoughts on the Cowboys' loss, and do you think it is potentially panic mode for them? Hold on, I think we lost John. You still there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay.
If we do panic meter, I'd say like a 7, and I'll put it more on coaching, man, because this is like the second week in a row where the red zone was terrible. They kicked like 4 field goals in the red zone against my Jets last week, and then this week they struggled again. So I think they got to find someone, to be that end zone.
I think John's breaking out a little bit here. I think we're losing him. John might have took your title, Mike. Frozone. Is it you back? I think John's back.
I'm here. Okay.
There you go. Go ahead.
Nah, you running the show and you're a Dak fan, so that's what happened when I started talking about Dak. That's what happened. Now I'm just saying, he just need to, like I said, in the red zone, don't stretch too much. But I think it's more on play calling in the red zone than anything. I mean, Diggs' injury is definitely gonna affect them long haul. But for right now, they just got to work on that red zone, man. Because, like I said, they kicked 4 or 5 field goals against my Jets in the red zone, and this week they couldn't punch it in a couple of times. So I think they'll be all right. So the panic mode for me will be a 7. I'll put it more on coaching than anything.
Wow, that's interesting. 7 out of 10.
Panic mode, yeah, because this is Dallas. This is Dallas what we're talking about. We're not talking about a regular team. We're talking about the Cowboys. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess you're not necessarily wrong in that assessment, John. I saw it's fair enough to you. Let's look real quick. Let's look at some comments. Obviously, everybody's more than welcome to chime in the comment section. Complete Sports Media comments: Dak isn't the leader that the Cowboys should be relying on. Interesting. He also says it had to hurt a little bit for the Cowboys, as some people predicted the Cardinals were going to go winless this season. I gave them one single solitary win, but then again, I must have underestimated my man Joshua Dobbs. What a performance yesterday! I mean, how good was he? I mean, that's a starting NFL quarterback as far as I'm concerned. I'd take him over Zach Wilson. I think John would agree with me in that regard. Let's look at our point totals. Barry, okay take. I was that close to docking to 0, but the problem with your assessment was not only did you criticize Dak's leadership, it was the fact that you're saying that, hey, that he's the only factor, the only thing holding the Cowboys back, potentially winning. The coaching is awesome, and the defense, despite a bad performance, was now the defense. I'll give you that. Offensive line.
Here's why I know that you're biased. The first 2 weeks of the season, the defense carried the quarterback. The 1 week that the defense needed the quarterback to carry them, he didn't do it and they lost. So if you want to give me 50 points, go ahead. But it's a very biased 50 points. I would even take the 0. Don't even give me 50. Just give me the 0.
No, you get the 50. Give me
the 0.
But you're out here talking about, he's a terrible leader and all this nonsense. That's crazy. He's not a terrible leader. So Mike Guido, you're going to get mad at me, Barry. I'm giving Mike the full 200, and here's why. Okay, it's not just not. I know Mike is not a BSer. Mike is not a BSer. He wasn't just trying to give Dak love just to make me feel good. No. He was objective. He's talking about, hey, offensive line ain't great. Dak didn't play well. The end zone pick was bad. When the situation around Dak isn't, to the perfect degree, the Cowboys tend to struggle. Dak tends to struggle. So I think, was a fair take, a good take, and that is why he didn't go after Dak's leadership. Okay, if there's anything you should not criticize Dak for, it is about leadership. Man, the guy's a rock in that locker room.
No,
John Rivera. That's debatable. John Rivera, 100 points. I'm giving you, John, solid take. I thought it was interesting you brought up the coaching because, listen, red zone, absent of quarterback play, can a lot of times come down, to coaching, to play design because the defense is more compressed. So, yeah, solid take by John Rivera. I'll give him 100 points.